growing signs of what could be an increase in Ukrainian operations deep inside Russia and Russian-occupied territory. A Moscow-backed official in the city of Melitopol was wounded by what appears to be an explosive device in his front yard. A police chief was killed last week in a similar incident, which Russia called sabotage by a reconnaissance group. And a second Russian freight train has derailed this week in Russia's Bryansk region. The governor blames an explosive device again. No one was killed in either derailment. Meantime, the latest UK intelligence shows Russian forces have built what's considered the most complex, extensive network of trenches in Europe since World War II, in both southern Russia and occupied Ukraine. The Defense Ministry says the defense highlights Moscow's deep concern that Ukraine could achieve a major breakthrough with its planned counteroffensive. Joining me now from Washington, retired US Air Force Colonel and CNN military analyst Cedric Leighton. It's been a while, so it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, John.
Okay, so if the trenches are a reflection of Russia's biggest fear, then it seems safe to assume that Russia fears losing Crimea the most, given the concentration of those defensive fortifications. Is that the line, essentially, for Vladimir Putin?
It does seem to be at least one of his lines. Recently, what he's been doing, John, is he is actually moving some forces into Crimea. He is also putting defensive positions up in places like Medvedevka, which is a small town that is kind of a critical point of approach should Ukrainian forces get close to Crimea. So this is one of those key areas where Putin is basically making a stand, and I think that would be a make or break point for him at this juncture.
There's also this reported 45-mile-long mega trench around Zaporizhia, the Zaporizhia area, far from the front lines. And according to the UK Defence Ministry, since summer 2022, Russia has constructed some of the most extensive systems of military defensive work seen anywhere in the world for many decades. These defences are not just near the current front lines, but have also been dug deep inside areas Russia currently controls. You know, as a general rule, if you're winning a war and victory is within reach, is it usual to stop and dig hundreds of miles of trenches behind your front lines?
Not at all. If you're winning a war, you're moving forward. You're basically taking the advantage to the enemy and trying to rout the enemy with a mobile war. This has been anything but a mobile war in recent months, and what this shows is a Russian proclivity not only for a war of attrition, but also to get ready for the defense in case the Ukrainians do mount their counteroffensive.
Yeah, and all this is in anticipation of that counteroffensive. Britain's independent newspaper reporting this. Ukraine's interior minister has said that 8 storm brigades comprising up to 40,000 troops are being re-equipped as Ukraine prepares to launch a counteroffensive against Moscow's invasion. Apparently one of the big factors here remains the weather, but we're now into May. If this offensive could begin at any time, have the Ukrainians had enough time to prepare? Has there been enough time for training on the new weapons, on the new tanks, on the new armoured vehicles? When it begins, would you expect to see the Ukrainian version of shock and awe?
Well, the one piece that would be missing from a shock and awe style campaign would be aircraft. The Ukrainians, of course, are asking for F-16s. Those F-16s it's highly unlikely that they would be materializing anytime soon in Ukraine and in time for this offensive. However, there are some weapons that are coming in the latest U.S. arms package to Ukraine, which are air-to-ground munitions, and those, of course, are going to be employed by aircraft, probably the aircraft that Ukraine already has.
As far as the training, though, on the tanks, because that's going to be the key here for the Ukrainians, and those tanks are far superior to the Russian tanks. So how's that going to play out in the early stages, especially?
Yeah, I think that's going to work out pretty well because both in the UK with the Challenger tanks and with the Leopard tanks in Germany and in from other European countries, the Ukrainians have had some time to prepare themselves for these tanks and to use them and deploy them in a way that will help them really fight a battle of maneuvers. So we could see a major tank battle really take place here in the eastern part of Ukraine, possibly in the southern part of Ukraine, and that would be something that we haven't seen in this part of the world since the 1940s.
And finally, we have this assessment by US intelligence of 100,000 Russian troops dead, I think since December. That seems an incredibly high number. The Kremlin has dismissed it as just a made-up number. How do you see it?
I don't think it's completely made up. It's very hard, of course, to estimate the total casualties, but it does ring true to me that this number of total casualties would be pretty accurate, given the number that have died in places like Bakhmut that we're pretty certain of, and also in places like Avdiivka, which is also on the front line. So it seems to me that the Russians probably lost somewhere between 20 and 25,000 dead, and 100,000 wounded or otherwise combat ineffective.
Dead and wounded, they weren't all dead. Good point to finish on. Thank you for the correction there, sir. Appreciate it.
No problem. Absolutely, John.